a very good morning to you all. My name is Daddy Chris from the Srtv desk right here in London, United Kingdom. And the show is Wake Up Nigeria. This is the show where we take a look at what is happening, the current affairs in Nigeria. We take a look at some of the newspapers, what the dailies are saying, and we look at critical issues affecting the nation. Today is no shortage at all. And I have a lot coming up. But let me let you know, today is one of those days that we'll be looking up to. We have Srtv, Lagos, deep, in fact, ably represented by our one and only Vivian. Vivian, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you too. It's
How
good
are
to
you?
be here. I'm very well, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And also, our little queen from Abuja, and I don't know what Wiki is doing with this woman. I'm sure she's having a very good time with Wiki. How are you doing, Mary?
Now, how can I be having a very good time with UK?
Why not? Wiki is happy with you. Wiki is a good man. All right. So
Fine.
and we're good, we're good, we're good. And anyway, Asaba just joining us, so it's going to have a full house. Hey, hello, Asaba. Good morning. I said good morning to you guys in Asaba. I don't know. We wait for you. Okay. I hope you guys can hear us because we are ready. We are ready to fly this morning. I'm sure Boriwo, this is a test of every state. It's like Abuja is more stable. Maybe they have more money. A little bit Lagos is today. Asaba, what is happening? Are you guys using our money well? May God help us. Anyway, it's a great day in the history of our broadcast. We are complete. It's here. We have here. I'm just a little one here from London, but these guys are ready and the place is packed full. Today we'll be looking at a very difficult issue. I want us to be really, really focused and focus on the key issue of today. Of course, I'm going to let the people tell us what is happening in different regions before we come into the topic of today. But first, let's start with Mary. Mary, what is happening in Abuja?
Okay. Inside Abuja, there is this ongoing demolition in Shiri village, Katampe area here in Abuja. According to the minister, yes, Obike, they've actually communicated to the citizens like about 3 months ago to uh, leave that place. But upon everything they did, even trying to compensate them, they refused to take the government compensation and they still stayed there. Not until yesterday, when the minister came by himself and said he was going to monitor the demolition. They had to demolish all those villages because they wanted to a kind of create road there. So he actually didn't care whatever the citizens are saying or whatever the villagers are saying. He had to break it and say nobody should a kind of neglect the development that the government is trying to create because they told them, they gave them notice and still kind of still allow them stay for like a week and they refused. Tried to compensate them, they refused. So they had to demolish the place without their consent. And I don't know how they are going to be right now because I believe most of them are kind of homeless because they took them unaware. They didn't expect that action yesterday. And the minister also said a lot. There was a video of an interview where he was talking about that they told them earlier, not like they took them unaware. And right now, the demolition actually took place yesterday and they destroyed a lot of houses because they want to link road to that Nkishiri village.
Let's see whether let's hear from the minister. I really don't understand the drama in the FCT. And when I understand the government have to do what they're doing, and the people, I don't know how they managed to acquire the land in the first place, and it amounts to a little bit of insensitivity, but the government have to do their work. It's a big debate. It's a very, very big debate. Let's hear from the minister.
Since it does appear, from what I got the report, that work is not going on. And I did inform the traditional ruler that this work has to go on. And enough is enough. Don't go there with 40 staffs and allow people to sabotage for the interest of the public, not as if anybody is coming to acquire land to build houses. So I called them from Milan that I'm going to be personally here to supervise this demolition, and that's what I came for. Let them know that it's no longer going to be business as usual.
That's the minister saying that, but the minister have the voice. then illegally, there got to be a time when the place have to be, when the government have to do what they need to do, Mary. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's true because in this Abuja, we know that just like they said, is a place owned by the Baggy people, and there's a way they build houses here. They really do not care if this one is going to actually, because if we want to say let's stay back because people should live in these places, there will not be development that increase. They are not trying to aid development in some parts of Abuja, just the major highway we see. But there are places that you know that okay, if this development occurs, when there are good roads, you see businesses, right, will begin to take place successfully, and that is what the minister is trying to do. But even though they told them that they are even going to compensate them, right, and aid their relocation, they still refused. That they want to stay there. And this place, if you check very well, it's just because I couldn't get a video of it. It's actually the road needs to be fixed. You understand? It links to a Caterpillar road from Gishiri. You understand? So it's really important. It's not like it's everywhere that they demolished. Just those places that link to that express road. That was what they demolished, and these people don't want to leave. So how do you think the developments will come? There's no way development will come if you are not accepting that the minister should do his job. So that's my
Yeah,
take on it.
my concern here, which I want to share with Emily, my concern here is the minister is offering them actually compensation, relocation opportunity, and this is part of urban development. It's a it's a it's a development case and against a moral case. Because some people will be of the belief that why, hey, the people are there, how can you just relocate them? How can you move them from their ancestral home? If that is the issue,
Exactly.
it's an ancestral home, and but that has happened in Abuja. And from the day you decided to move the federal capital territory there and displace the people, a lot of things like that are about to happen. Some
A
people
lot
very
of a lot of demolition is still going to take place at the crease because they're already announcing it. This particular one, they want to make sure they finish the road by the end of May. So they actually don't have, they've got limited time. And there are other places that they have been issuing warning right now that they are going to demolish. But the
I
thing
would
is that
like to ask a
they're
question.
not doing anything. They will just stay
well,
nonchalant until he starts the demolition. They will start to see people crying and complaining.
My concern is this. Yes, development is very, very key. It aids economic growth, it improves the lives of the people, you have better facilities and all of that. The question is it impossible for development to take place without uprooting people from their connections? For example, that land is an ancestral land, as it were. Their fathers have been buried there. That is where these people connect to. Couldn't this development have happened in such a way that the people are still there, even if they are relocated, but at least there is still a connection to where they are coming from? So a person is from location A. This is where your fathers they're buried. So this is what you always know as home. Now you're going to be moved away from that spot to another place completely. How do you move your connections there back to this new place? And I think that's one of the things that the people are struggling with. Yes, they've been compensated, like Mary rightly noted, but I understand why they wouldn't accept the money, because you can't pay for history. You can't buy history for the
that's a
people.
big one. That's a big one. You're yanking the people's history away, and like the root. There's in our place when you bury when the child is born, they take something. Is it what they call the cord, right? And they put it somewhere. These are history. These
Yes,
are where they bury our parents, and it's difficult to relocate. I can understand their plight, but uh,
I
maybe
think
that's
the government.
yeah.
A similar thing happened in Lagos a couple of days ago on Sunday on my way back from church. I saw this place in Dora. You can actually see the view across the bridge on your way when you're on the bridge. It was a very, very sad sight to see. It's a settlement. Yes, settlement. A lot of folks who have come into Lagos, they don't have all of that. You stay in the burned down. It was razed completely. And you see people with their mattresses and all of that. The rainy seasons are here.
Yeah.
And I was worried. It was a very disturbing sight to see. But I recall that the governor has once stated, the Lagos State government and governor has once said that if you're coming to Lagos, the people in Lagos are the people who have business in Lagos. If you don't have business in Lagos, you don't have something to do to keep you, then you shouldn't be here. They don't want people roaming about. Hey, these guys have been displaced. Do you think they won't be roaming about? Do you think they will just pack their things and go back to their
Oh,
homes?
no, it's a hard one.
So it has sort of complicated the matter itself. So it's disturbing.
Yes, well, that of Lagos will come and look at it a little bit
Okay,
later.
okay. Can I say something?
It's,
Can I say something?
it is.
Okay,
No,
I quite agree with what Mrs. Vivian is saying that truly uh, development, let me say fixing of road, right, aid development and promote economic growth. I quite agree. But in a situation whereby you know that this thing is government that wants to do it and I cannot change it, that if it's just in a situation like this now where they ask them to leave and they refuse, they want to aid their relocation, they want to compensate them and they refuse. By the end of the day, did they still achieve it? Upon their refusal, but the government still achieved what they wanted to achieve. So instead of allowing that kind of
but
situation to
the
occur,
government, Mary, the government should be worried. Why you tell you want to do something for us and you are raping us in the course of doing it? It's a big case. Like I quite understand where the government is coming from. We know we need to move. Hey,
please, I
Nigeria
want you
is
to understand that I am not supporting what the government is doing. But what I'm saying
Me
is,
too.
and
I'm
you
not
fight
saying
them
that.
in a situation where you cannot fight them. You know, people are in your house. You just came in and saw that they are breaking it, your properties. When you
yes,
know that you would have avoided it before that day, nobody would have seen your properties. Nobody would have seen you in that kind of state where you are helpless. You would have still been able to avoid it. Maybe just like the second notice of like 1 week that they still gave you people, and you people still refuse, thinking that nothing will happen.
1 week is not a lot of notice, Mary. I don't
It's
know the
not.
No,
government.
the 1 week is later. You didn't hear what I said the first time. The first notice came like 3 months ago, right? Then the second one,
3 months
after,
is not
3 months
enough too.
from your ancestral home, Mary.
yes, and increase. That's what I'm saying. So since they didn't do anything, they now came and gave them another 1 week. You know how the minister, how he behaves. You know,
Yeah,
everybody
but
that will come.
Mary,
Mary, there's something to
Mary,
be yes in planning. They didn't just
three
start that
months,
plan yesterday.
even 1 year is not enough.
It's not enough.
Yes,
They need
it's
they need to process.
Exactly.
my pain about the whole situation is now that they still refuse, they still have to still chase them out forcefully, which would
Yes,
have been
from
avoided.
Mary, well, I think that's why Wike is out now defending himself.
Yes,
If you don't stop, well, we cannot blame these people.
he said he spoke to the village
We don't know the whole
rulers.
story yet. From what I can
He
see, I
spoke
don't
to
think
the
we have.
village chiefs. He said he spoke to the village chiefs. You understand? They are rulers there that they are aware of it. Just that the
Anyway,
people refused.
let's quickly because we have a lot of stories today. Vivian, I hope your sound has not
I
ceased
think
again.
I think something I think something happened to our sound. Check your
Maybe,
connection. Check your
yeah,
connection properly.
I don't think it's connection. The thing just trip off because I can see that. I know it's frustrating. Sorry.
Okay, what will happen?
It's
I
when
will
you have
think.
to sign out and come back again.
Or
That's
if
what.
she's using a system, maybe she should use the link and come in. So you add her up with her phone. Phone will always
Yeah.
talk. Phone we don't have sound issue. Try connecting with the link with your phone. Try connecting with your phone. Yes, just come in with your phone. That will be better.
All right. We gonna quickly move on to another. In fact, advancing story. It's not a developing story. The story is advancing. When things begin to advance in a country like ours, we have reasons to be scared. This is scary. Uh, More than scary right now. And if I am at Pabio, I don't think Akpabio is moving the speed. This is you're giving me a run for your money.
If
Eh?
I just want you to understand that this thing is not even moving Akpaba at all. It's
It's
not
moving
moving.
him. Oh. Mary, there's no human being that will not be moved by this. You are childish to think
Okay,
it
now
will
this is
not
what
move
he said.
anybody.
Okay, this is the second comment Akpabio made. Natasha should write a letter of apology and let them see if you understand they will
No, no.
change.
By the time he's talking about apology, meaning the thing is moving him. Let's hear from Senator Natasha, wherever she
Oh,
is. Fine. All right.
From Nigeria. But first, I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Obara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally, but I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women, because this is a bigger picture. This is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. Women make up 3.6% of political offices, and in the Senate, it's just 2.8. We have 109 men, and only 4 of us are women. So right now, it's 108 with only 3 women. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. The Senate's actions are an assault on democracy. I was elected by my constituents to represent them. Yet a few powerful men have unilaterally decided to silence their voices by suspending me for 6 months. My call for an open and transparent investigation into harassment allegations have been met with hostility instead of accountability. If a female senator can be treated this way in the full view of the world, imagine what ordinary Nigerian women would go through every day in workplaces, in universities.
I'm happy, Asaba, you're back.
Yes,
You
we
hear
are
me?
back.
Thank God that we are witnessing. Like, what will you call this? I said it's a story that is advancing because it's going to keep going. But before we say, I commend this woman for standing for what she believes. But I already can fault something here. I'm always for her. I'm supporting her, and I really think Nigeria need to rethink this. But she's always telling us what she thinks. He said, I thought, rather than telling us what the law is. You're a lawyer. See, sometimes you use sentiment on issues like this. Is that the law? Are you? Is it allowed to be? You see, those are the cases as a
Yes,
smart mother.
you don't personalize it.
No,
You
no, she
understand?
shouldn't be making this case. I thought this is the case. No, this is the law. It's against the law for me to be suspended. It's against this. You are a senator and you are a lawyer. How can't you be coming here to cry as if it's not a time to cry? It's a time to present a case, and you're before the United Nations. And anyway, I wait for other people to react. For me, Akpabio and the Senate, I asked yesterday, what is the wisdom suspending this woman? They said it's not because of this. Like I think Benjamin threw more light on that yesterday. Benjamin, could you help us? Why your Senate decided to suspend there are only four of them. One is gone, like Natasha said. There are only three now. What? Well, yeah, 2 days ago we just celebrated Women's Day. Over to Asaba.
Well, the Senate has its own rules and regulations, and all senators are bound to obey these rules and regulations. Like I said yesterday, the Senate has come out to say she was not suspended because of the sexual harassment she complained about, but for violating their own rules. But a lot of people are saying for 6 months it's too harsh, and that there
Yes.
should be a rethink to the whole saga.
Yes. Anyway, for breach of the Senate rules, because it's a very sensitive issue, and I know engineer is here again to help us put some light into it. It might be okay. I may breach the Senate rule for a fellow senator, an elected person, because we are elected into the Senate by our people, and we're there to act. Rules or no rules, I'm representing a particular section of the country. Suspending me for 6 months, meaning you are depriving the people of that area a voice in the Senate for the next 6 months.
That's
And
true.
that's where this case is really scary.
Yes.
And that's where I said, where is the wisdom? What wisdom will permit the Senate to suspend a senator for a trivial issue? Because this is not a serious issue. There's not a case of corruption. It's not as if she did. There's a big fact. If it's a fraudulent case, I can understand that. If she has done something that we can see, but this is a simple case, I would call it. It's a case of an allegation or a misconduct within the Senate, breaking the rules. Maybe speaking of Benjamin. Now that you're able to tell us what the Senate is saying, do you know exactly what is the reason? Not just telling us breaking the Senate rules. What is the rules of the Senate that she has broken? Maybe that is the way to start.
Well, if there are no rules and regulations, there will be anarchy in the entire system.
Yes, I agree.
This particular issue started from when seats were reallocated, and according to her, the trouble had been brewing because of her refusal
Yes.
to bend to Akpabio's whatever.
That's
So she felt humiliated by being reallocated to another seat, which she felt was to relegate her to the background completely. That was why she resisted, and you know, she resisted, and that was one of the reasons why
That's what I'm
she
saying now.
felt
That's what
violated
refusing
immediately.
to what I'm saying now is that refusing to move from your seat will they attract 6 months suspension of a set of people, a senatorial district. The voice yanked out of the Senate for 6 months because the senator refused to obey a simple movement, move your seat. And she actually protested. She didn't say, I will not move. I'm wondering, because if this is what Natasha is saying, I would have been listening to her. But
What
she's
I don't
not there
understand
now
is
to cry
why
like
is
a woman.
Akpabio telling her to submit a written apology? Then maybe the suspension might be taken off. How? Is it Akpabio that will decide that one?
Yes,
It
the
looks as if
senator, but I think the senator can do that. Let's
then
talk to our guest there.
she
Hello.
said she will not. She said she will not apologize.
Well, there's And for me now, she's only crying like a woman. She should be telling us, she'll be presenting her case, and that is what I expect to do. Engineer, I went with the engineer because engineer is on shade today.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, I need to give us
Yes.
a
Yeah, engineer, what's your take? Yes, what's your take on this? Because our lady is
Yes, I
crying.
think I've been listening.
What's your take,
I've been
sir?
listening to all what has been said, and I've followed all what has been happening. I'll call this vis-a-vis legislative recklessness. Now, one thing we fail to understand is that whether or not it's movement of seats, but first and foremost, let's understand the punishment meted out to her is completely wrong. It is not totally in line with the offense. What he said was supposed to be 40, the worst case scenario would have been 14 days suspension, not 6 months. And besides that, even when you invite her to the ethics committee, you send her a reminder. If she has missed the first time, you send her a reminder. We have invited the Inspector General of Police, we have invited the Director of Immigration, Customs, high-rank, the CBN governor, high-ranking people that have disobeyed the Senate order, and nothing has been heard. Some even sent their heads of department or permanent secretaries to go and represent them in the senior committees that invited them. And there was no reprimand of such people. Now, I like a situation where we truly reflect and understand the reasons behind what has been happening. Now, the issue is not really about movement of the seat. There has been a trajectory of sexual intimidation, number one, a trajectory of alienation, a trajectory of bill rejection. Now, it did not start today. Natasha made a very, very big evidence available to Nigerians to understand. Because of my refusal to sexual advances, which you are aware of, because it could happen. Besides not positioning in the Senate, it happens everywhere, even in a public service. That somebody is throwing overtures to a lady, and the lady refuses the overtures. I mean, things that are supposed to be for you will be restricted. They start using position to intimidate. That's what's happening. Now, first and foremost, you look at our bills are rejected, other bills are consented to. Besides this being rejected, when she's been shot, she has been called, she has been told that this is not a nightclub. That is a predatory word. It is irresponsible of a Senate president to address a senator that no matter the circumstance under which is dressed publicly, under public purview, that this is not a nightclub. It's derogatory enough. And what is your fashion? Now, besides all that, there's so many tantrums he's thrown around. Now, Natasha brought to bear the fact that most times, even decisions that are taken in plenary have been agreed outside plenary in the Apollo legislative quarters or the private residence of the Senate president. So it calls to question the sincerity and, of course, the credibility and integrity of this present Senate leadership. And I think it shows a high level of legislative responsibility. Because if truly they want to holistically look at the punitive measure they have to give to Natasha, they would have given her at least another time. Okay, this is going to be the second time we're going to be inviting you again to come. But now the burden of evidence is so overwhelming that it is obvious that what is right to be done by the Senate is to have an overview of evidences that have been made available by Natasha, so that fairness and justice will be seen to be impartially dispensed to Natasha or Fabio. If it's an allegation, fine, they will follow it to the detail. Because the scenario is they isolated the city issue out of the bigger issue that led to so many other things. It's a Pandora box. We are looking at a situation where a Senate, all of them were actually elected by their constituents. We are looking at a situation where, and if they investigate deeper, you will find out that so many members of the Senate, because I want to ask the reason why someone like Senator Bamidele, been trying to intimidate Natasha not to bring up the issue of sexual harassment. She wouldn't just wake up to say she's been sexually harassed. She has been sexually harassed. Sexual harassment is not necessarily having sex or penetration. It non-verbal, verbal and non-verbal communication that's somebody's privacy, the privacy of another of the opposite sex is sexual harassment. Unnecessary touching is sexual harassment without the consent of the opposite sex. So what we are saying is that there is so much ability on the part of the Senate leadership to have taken such a very harsh decision without recourse to investigative processes.
Thank you. That is the
time.
that's
On the part of,
Go on, sir. Go on, sir. I agree. Go on, sir. I'm with you.
yes, I said for me, I will say that I stand on the part of Natasha. But she has to be careful because banana peels are going to come.
Okay. Well, it's
What she has told us is true. She has strong evidence. She should not be emotional. She should not be emotional about it. I mean, this is not bring out your points, bring out the facts. Look,
yes.
There's a part of the idea. You see when they say conscience is an open truth. Conscience is open when only the truth can heal or something. So until we allow the truth to come out, our Senate is one of the our National Assembly legislation is the biggest problem alongside the judiciary of our democracy today. And until we get it right, until people are made to be reprimanded on issues of leadership, on issues of bad representation, we're not going to get this our democracy right. We are fighting a goose fight. People continue to play to the gallery. 6 months, they are killing an ant with a sledgehammer. On what grounds?
I agree. And this is a very big case. Natasha just opened a big one. Something that is happening in Nigeria is a worm that I don't understand. Do you know it's a threat to send your daughter to the Nigerian university? Send your daughter to school. It's a pleasure to the lecturers. That is their game. They tell you it's their game. There's no way you go to a Nigeria where sexual harassment is not an issue. So we do, like I said, whether this happened or not, Akpabio is going to take you ages to convince us that you didn't really make some advances. Looking at your history, because this is not the first time. Anyway, that's how we look at cases. So, senators, when in the UK, when they look at your case, you did it again. You understand? Go on, sir.
You are forgetting a director in NDDC actually made reference that she was equally actually harassed by the same Senate president while he was the chairman of NDDC, House Committee on NDDC. So that's what I'm saying. When you look at this, so there are so many women that have been so bamboozled to a corner that they have not been able to speak out on sexual harassment in workplaces, in the National Assembly, in the executive. You're not just restricted to the national level, but at state levels.
Yeah, but I think our Senate is really very the wisdom. I use the word. I want to insult them. That's why I'm trying to
come to the National Assembly to come and show solidarity. And an interviewer asked one of the women. He said, "Do you know why you are here?" He said, "They brought us to come and vote for Natasha and Akpabio. You came for Natasha and Akpabio, and you carried a placard that indicated that Akpabio won." I mean, this is a ridicule on our democracy. That the political elite can still stoop so low to rent crowd for 5,000, 10,000 naira because they want to project their principle. When we are trying to heal this country, how can we heal with the kind of leadership we have in political offices?
In fact, it's a shame. And Natasha, if we trash this kind of issue, it will continue again, and the credibility of our democracy, not that we have it before, is going down the drain the more. Well, and on this note, we're going to actually call on the Nigerian women, to learn to speak out. And I'm happy this is a lawyer. The Senate, Nigerian Senate, the question we ask, and like our honorable engineer said yesterday, this is a cry for help. We need to understand, why would you suspend this woman? In fact, Why? Well, in 6 months. For what? You were voted in the same way you were. Okay, because you became a Senate president. You see, there are so many things wrong in this country, man, that we need to correct. And I think this is the time to do so. I'm sure we're coming back to this Natasha issue because we have a lot today. But Natasha is not the one. Thank God she's not a small girl that you can just trash. She's going to show you guys that she's elected like every single one of you. And that drama, if she doesn't find justice in Nigeria, she's looking for justice elsewhere.
That's true.
And that's a shame. By the time a fellow senator among you now cry outside, in fact, it's something that the president of Nigeria should be worried about. That every Nigerian should be worried about, that our daughter is out there crying. Meaning it is our culture to oppress our daughters. May God help us. Anyway, I'm sure I was waiting to hear what Vivian got to say on this because I wanted the women opinion. Mary, I'll still give you 1 little minute to say what you think about Natasha crying out.
Okay, I think
And be sincere with us, Mary. You went through the uni. You've seen what men do. You are a young girl working. What do you have to say to this woman?
just like what she said if she being a senator is actually finding it this difficult, what about the common man, the common Nigeria out there? What do you think they're going through? This refers to, what about students as well? Let's talk about students. What about those that are passing through this kind of thing in their different fields? So she crying out is actually, to me, is like a good thing because it's actually going to give me the ladies the opportunity to know that we have a voice. Let it not be like we don't have a voice, because a lot of people are going through the same thing that she's actually going through right now. But because they can't speak out, they feel like if you speak out, you'll be in a big mess. So it's trying to give us, it's just like a wake up call to ladies. If you are going through this kind of thing from anybody, even if they are superior over you, come out and speak your truth. Stand for your rights. You understand? So I think I'll applaud what she's doing, even though if at the end of the day she still didn't get justice. We know is that she came out and she spoke the
She
truth.
got justice already. At least one person, one man is enough. Anyway, Mary, let's quickly move because today I can see we don't have a lot of time for so many things, so many drama unfolding in the Nigerian, the country, the lawmakers. Where is this coming from? There's another video I want to share with this house. I don't think, very dark man said, I don't think it's the only one that will see this. This is funny. And I really want to share this video with the audience while we watch. And have the little say about it before we go to the topic of today. Let's see this together.
Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, I remain Honorable Engineer Shehu Alhatu Tavoki, representing Paskari, Kankara Sabwa Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. I rise to move a motion for the need to block internet website hosting pornographic content and section defaulting internet service providers. The House note that cyber pornography is fast becoming a global problem and no concrete steps have been taken to curb the phenomenon of cyber pornography in Nigeria. Aware that Nigeria is a highly religious country and all the major religious internet websites in the country have forbidden nudity and obscenity in any form. Also note that countries across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East have enacted legislation that ban pornography in their domains. Aware that renowned psychologists and sociologists around the world have issued stern warning on this psychological, sociological, and mental consequences of viewing pornography contents. Concerned deeply that some of the immediate effect of viewing pornography, usually by one person, the change of attitude toward oneself and his family. Resolve 2. 1. Urge the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, to direct the internet service providers operating in the country to take immediate steps to block all websites that host obscene and pornography content. 2. Also urge the Nigerian Communication Commission to apply the full rigors of the Nigerian Communication Act and National Information Technology Development Acts NIDA against the defaulting internet service providers. And finally, mandate the Committee of Communication and Legislative Compliance to ensure.
In Jesus' name. And we need amen to this. Is this a problem of the country?
I agree, but this should be a good news to you now. This should be a good news to you because you have also always kick against anything like that. You understand? And you said you wanted to open a church. So this should be a good one.
No. I didn't say not to this extent. Did I say my church? I always tell people this is not even the business of God. What are you talking about? Is that the problem? Is that why we elected the engineer? Look at just from the Senate to the House. Now they are banning Nigerian men and women from looking at porn. I say, okay, it's morally wrong. Who said who? And that's my take because I live in this part of the world. And now, if you even banning it in Nigeria, do the Nigerian internet, those people in Nigeria, would they still have access to the other international websites?
Is that supposed to even be the problem we have to focus on right now in this country?
Now, Mary, since we are so learned, since we are holier than the Pope, or sometimes we are people. That's why we don't have money. Money has been spent to Mecca. Even those I saw your people, people from Delta, they are currently in pilgrimage. When we don't have money to eat, no food, you spend our money to pilgrimage, and this is the result. The result of going to pilgrimage rather than going to farm is this: ban all porn site. Let me explain this before I let the engineer chip in. I want to put this in context. If you come to any major city in Europe where you have ship, where the seaport, where you have seaport, what they normally do, you will see a kind of a prostitute corner. Because these people have been in the sea for like 6 months. If they come down, they were raping women. You can't stop a man's urge. So they know that's why they actually encourage those prostitution corners. Where the people that come from the sea have where to go and any other person don't have a place to go. Now, so that is a government encouraging it. It's not private now. Now, Nigerian government, they said we are very holy, that we don't have sex. We only get married. That's what people are saying. Engineer, let we start with Benjamin, because Benjamin went to church on Sunday. Yeah, is that what they preach in Nigeria?
It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. See, our biggest problem in this country is being religiously blindfolded and along ethnic lines. Now, when you look at it, how many, you go to Norway, go to Central Europe, go to Switzerland, go to the UK, go around Europe, how many churches do you have? In Nigeria, every street has a minimum of like 3, 4, 5 churches. We sponsor with taxpayers' money on pilgrimage. Like you did say, money that should have been put on agro-allied investments. We sponsor on Muslim sponsor their faithfuls on pilgrimage to Mecca. Now, all the time they go there to stone the devil, to do whatever, pack sand from River Jordan, and go to the tomb of Jesus. How has it impacted and reflected in the lives of the citizens that have gone there? They come back, they still loot. They come back, they still steal in public service. They have gone to see the tomb of Christ. They have gone to River Jordan. They have went there to see where John the Baptist baptized Jesus Christ. A lot of hypocrisy in governance, and that is what is killing us. Because if it's about religion, Nigeria should be Dubai. 1992 Dubai was a better.
Agree. And I can't wait for our evangelist here.
Malaysia, they came to Benin. Malaysia came to Benin to take seeds, palm seeds. Then after Brazil, we're the second highest exporters of crude palm oil. Today, Malaysia has overtaken us. We have been thrown to the doldrum. Alongside rubber plantation. And we are going to Mecca. Now look at the situation in this country. We shouldn't have been depending on oil if we knew what should be done right.
That's it.
Independence and post-independence, we have the regional power basis of agriculture. In the northeast, you had the Columbites, I can't remember. But in the northwest, that's where you have the granite pyramids. We are exporting granola. Farming was, we are cotton. We had a lot of crops that were being exported. But we should, at that time, things were good. We go to the southwest, we're exporting cocoa a lot. It's Midwest then and Midwest. It was oil. Oil was from the southeast. Petrol was practically irrelevant. Not that it was irrelevant, not in the eye of the storm like it is right now. It was not relegated, but we were more into agriculture, and the country was better. Dollar was begging naira. And now we have said, no, we are very religious. We must wait for federal allocation. We are a country of deceptive leadership. Deception is hurting. The followers are being distorted by political mirage. That's why everybody wants to be a politician. They have seen it as a career because it's an avenue for looting public wealth. So until we get it right, pilgrimage does not change the mindset. You have to change from yourself before the stone the devil will change you. You have to change from yourself. Internal transformation is starts from within. Not by going on pilgrimage, you go there, you pretend to be holier than holy, but when you come back, you still commit heinous crime. A lot of them are culpable in the National Assembly.
That is, we just saw Akpabio. Did Akpabio go to study? Akpabio should be going to Mecca, or is he going to Israel? And
even if he goes, he does not change. Akpabio is Akpabio.
I know. So
going to Mecca will not change you if you are not changed internally first. Our leaders have taken us for granted. That is just the fact. It's hurting me.
It's annoying, sir. That's why we're going to discuss the topic of today is actually the economic emancipation of the Nigerian state. And you've already touched a little on it, sir. We're coming back to it. But before we go there, I really want to hear from our evangelist in the house. Vivian is an evangelist, and I know that. Vivian.
Yes.
I have to bring you here. Sorry. If you know people that have been to Israel, if you see one onion in Israel, it's like this. Onions, it's as big as this. They are good in farming. Now, Israel is not waiting for God to come and defend them. The same Israel, they defend themselves.
Exactly.
Israel is the one. In fact, if you look at what is happening between them and the Palestinians, they'll kill the Palestinians. If they were, they would have been gone. Israel, in fact, when it comes to all kind of, I don't want to go far now because I want to focus on farming. Israelis are the best farmers. But we in Nigeria, we are the best Christians. We spend the small money we have to go to Israel, not to learn the farm. I don't know what you could actually learn when you go to Israel. What do you go there to do? You can't feed yourself. You see, there's a famous saying in South Africa. Before there's a famous demonstration who said, "God is not a Christian." We'll come to that. But he said something that when the white people came, they said they have the Bible, we had the land. They said, "Close your eyes, let us pray." By the time we finish praying, they have our land and we now have the Bible. So today, the land is in the hands of the white people. We have the Bible. In fact, because we carry the Bible more than the people that brought it to us. This is a cry for help. I'm using your word, engineer.
Yes.
This is a cry
for help.
Where are we, Vivian? I think you have to. Vivian, your stand need to be good. We won't leave you before we go to the next topic. We want to hear
As a matter of fact, I just sent you a video now. I was amazed the day I watched it. A shoe factory. There was a time when we had capacity, we had industries, factories in Nigeria. Asaba had factories. Abeokuta. I remember back then there was a song they used to sing. Ondolo Niko, Ikare Lolo Biela. It meant Ondo has cocoa, Ikare has cola nuts, Kanu had granules, Kanu also had rice. There was a time when there was nothing like imported rice. What changed all of this? Can we still get it back?
Is it the question is, don't you think religion contribute to this?
I do not think so.
Let's not be sincere. Something went wrong somewhere. I'm happy you talking about. Let me add a little to that. And I'm happy engineer is here. That's why the topic of today is actually the economic emancipation of the Nigerian state. Far back, as at the time you were talking about, the Nigerian naira was higher than the US dollars. In fact, one naira was equal to $1.5 US.
In the 70s, yes.
I saw a video of from one of my brother this morning, with that video showing the state of the Nigerian economy before this Christianity took over. Because I'm going to say Christianity took over. Because
I'm going to defer. I'm not defer now. I'm going to say no to that. Religion did not mess things up for Nigeria. Permit me to use that word. People ran. Now, what was life like in the 70s? What was life like in the 80s? Was there no religion? There was religion. As a matter of fact, back then, people took Christianity, people took their faith more seriously. The moment a person embraces the faith, they run with it. It changes their lives.
At that time, we didn't have this number of churches, man. I know you beg to differ.
Yes.
At that time, we don't have this. Because today, instead of people going to farm, they are going to church.
No, it has become this way because people have religion. Please, can you listen to me? Can you listen to me? What happened is this. People ran to religion because of their stomach.
Good.
They did not run to religion because they wanted eternity.
Thank
They
you.
ran to religion for a need, because to meet immediate need now.
Yes.
That is the bane of it all.
I agree. So our Christianity is as a result of hunger. This is a hunger Christianity.
A lot of people
looking to see God.
We are not, yes. A lot of people have gone that way because they felt they are looking for a snap at the finger solution to their problem.
Yes.
It was not the religion that made things the way they are today. It's the wrong settings of the mind. The politicians, they came, they looted, and people saw, they found that, well, the only way out is to run to their maker. But they were running to their maker because of the hunger in the stomach. So you still have people running to religious houses because of one need or the other, going from one place to the other. Meanwhile, what they should be doing is different. So right now, I assure you, we have more churches now that are making effort to reset the mind of their members, to reset the mind of
I'm sure that will be a debate for another day. Let's leave our spirituality.
Right now. I need us to change. I need us to change the mindset that Christianity caused the problem.
I was just looking for who to blame.
Christianity is religion. The religion Christianity exclusively. Both Islam and Christianity, religion.
Yes, it's not religion. The politicians, they came, and up till now, people still see politics as a creation.
Yes.
And as long as that happens, things will keep going bad.
Vivian, I think you're right. But what I just want to say is that I have to blame somebody here. Because if we, I'm just putting some of the troubles we're facing, that the new religion we find ourselves, which is the new culture. Religion is your culture. In those days, when our forefathers, when they were worshiping if you come to my place, it was through the ancestors, we do something called the New Yam Festival. For you to celebrate New Yam Festival, you have to go to farm and have yam to do New Yam Festival. So, but this new culture is telling me that you don't need to go to the New Yam because you don't want to do New Yam Festival, man. You have a Christianity, a God that comes from Jesus that is going to. So, what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to blame. And meanwhile, the pastors are getting richer, the people going up poorer. We'll come to that another day, but let's look at the Nigerian state. Because if we go there, we won't live there today. Our problem today is, I really want to focus on our three topic, which is the Nigerian state. And let's look at it. And engineer, I want us to. We cannot finish this. I think you guys continue this even when I'm not here tomorrow. But I want to say this. Let's look at one thing, one important thing. The government is saying that they don't have hand in politics. They don't have hand to do business. They don't have need to do business. That's what the Nigerian government is saying. That if you go to everywhere in the world, government only provide enabling environment. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to define it for business to strive. So that when you do that, businesses will come. And which is it's a sweet word to use. But who are those going to do the business in a country, in a developing country like ours? You can say that in Europe, where they have access to finance. In Nigeria, the ordinary Nigerian have no access to finance. How is he going to run with the business you are talking about that you are creating the enabling environment for? Now, if you go to the bank in Nigeria to take a loan, you pay 30-something% interest. In the UK, it is suicidal. You don't pay, the highest is 8% for a loan to do anything of any level. How can you borrow and pay 30-something% and the government is telling you it's creating an enabling environment for you to come and survive? Now, in those days, like you, Vivian, you already mentioned, we had when the Nigerian state started. Let me name some corporations the Nigerian had. We have the airline, Nigerian Airways, owned by the Nigerian government, making money for the Nigerian state. We have the Nigerian National Shipping Line, the NNPC, the NEPA we are talking about today. Every child knows NEPA. They were all corporations established by the government. So, in fact, the Nigerian Television Authority, all these were corporations run by the government. Now, because the government did not run it well, doesn't mean it is a failure. Now, that is on one side, because I know engineer is going to come in. The question is, that was the federal government. The states were doing their own businesses then. Now, let me not even go into those analyses. Now, let's think together. What is wrong, like I said again on this show, if Delta state government, or if we say today, there's no food in the country, rather than going to church, Vivian, I know you are this way I'm coming now, rather than going to church tomorrow to cry for God to bring food which he has already provided for you. If every state, we say, every state must farm, we give you, every state should take 6 billion naira and farm by the state. So the governor of the state is the chairman of the farm. You can do that with private people. Maybe you can there's a way you farm with people. You show me your land, we'll cultivate the land for you, you will reap with you. The state can work. What is the business? What is the job of the governor of Delta State if he cannot look into the farm? And when we are hungry, like Tinubu does not have a farm. The country does not have a farm. If Nigeria don't have food tomorrow, you know what we do? We import more rice. We import chicken. You don't even know where they are coming from. Genetically modified food is what we import in the name of trying to save hunger. The next time we're going to go to Mecca or we go to Israel. Either we import food or then we go to there to pray. But our solution, which I want you people to answer me now, and maybe Emily can tell us because she's been telling us about it. Rather than we going to the farm, Governor Boriwori, Governor, the new one of Edo State, or Sanwo-Olu, having a farm. So when I resume my office, my number one job will be to feed the people, to feed my nation. And who is going to do the farm for you if you expect the private people who do not have the resources to farm? Where is the wisdom in it? It's just like the way I'm going to ask, where is the wisdom? It's not the government can farm. They can do this farm better than any other person, and there will be surplus. But we're not doing it. We're creating an enabling environment. You know what they're doing? They're spending the little money we have to construct dead roads. And we are happy. We're saying that, oh, the government is working. If you ask me now, Delta State government is working. And those state government is working. All of them are working. At what? Do you have food on the table, sir? So I'm going to ask you again, Vivian. Where is the wisdom in our governors? Not actually, like, I'm happy you saw that video. As at the time you were talking, it was the government doing it, not private. But today's government is telling us government don't have business in doing that. And everybody is buying it. And you are telling private people who don't have access to finance to provide to stimulate your economy. With which money? I'll leave that for you.
All right, thank you very much. Basically, when you look at the situation on ground, you're looking at the situation that is happening at the federal level, it equally happens at the state levels. There has been lack of should I call it, checks and balances, both at the national level, happens at the state level. There's a manipulative synergy between the executive arms, legislation, and the judiciary, making it difficult for any form of checks and balances to even share ideas. Ideas only come from executive. Implementable ideas come only from the executive who have already rubber stamped that decision. Is just for the consent of whether it's consented to by the national state assembly. That is not an issue because they always fly. However, moving forward, we are faced with a very precarious situation because we lost the essence of leadership when we stopped industrialization, when we refused to uphold the tenet and importance and relevance of knowing that exportation improves the value of the currency more than importation. The moment we start realizing that, then we know we have begun the race for restoration, but we are not. Because if you look at the industry, you make mention of a lot of industries that have gone kumatu. I mean, I grew up knowing that my dad used to carry me to Bata. Anytime you want to buy shoes, sandal, you go to Bata. You want to start.
Bata, yes, sir. I remember Bata. Yes.
I grew up to know of Kingsway, UTC. I mean, those are standards. And it was the funny thing about it was not restricted to the elites alone. Everybody had access to these places. And I grew up to know that we produced tire in Nigeria. We had Michelin in Nigeria. We had Gusto. We had them in Nigeria.
Yes.
We were producing batteries in Nigeria, in Ibadan. We had all that. The Lagos Ibadan Expressway, instead of making it a campsite, you should have put a mega farm site. The churches, instead of building those campgrounds, why don't you transfer them to churches and empower your congregation to be able to do more giving and more tithing?
We come to that. We come to the church.
Development is not restricted to government alone. Everybody individual has a role to play in development. We have lost it from the beginning until we decide to restore it. Now look at the situation now. Let me come to my state, for example. We used to have the Asaba textile mill that had an employee workforce of about 5,000. We had people working on shifts. But the successive government have thrown their eyes away. We used to have Summit Furniture that was building wood They were the epicenter. Look what happened to the Sapele, Eternity in Sapele. What happened to Sapele Timber and Plywood Factory?
ATRP was the best plywood in the whole of Africa. African plywood.
Yes.
African plywood was in.
Yes. When you are traveling from Benin on top of that Sapele, you see the plywood that been rubbed on top of water, they are floating ready before they are formed. People come from abroad to buy it. Roofing sheets were done by Eternity. Everybody now depends on government allocation. The politics. Is politics a way out of this situation? We cannot get out of this state of poverty, this state of inflation, until we start to understand the relevance of agriculture and industrialization. Yeah, all the textile mills in Kaduna. Kaduna was the epicenter of textile mills. Where are all of them? It has all gone cold. Industrialization is the key. And look at where in Delta, you made reference to Delta, so how to came online. Now look at the Delta Steel Company. It is gone, like Ajanta. I was in secondary school in the 80s when Ajanta till today, I'm not sure it has produced anything. When during the Buhari administration of the Ajanta, we produced, we are still spending budgeting money for Ajanta still to today. For nothing. Because look at our four refineries. The deception, the system around maintenance every year, hundreds of millions we spent roughly in the last 10 years from the National Bureau of Statistics, we spent about 6.7 trillion naira on turnaround maintenance for refineries that never produce oil. There was such a time we were the fifth highest producer of crude oil, producing one of the highest grades of crude oil, the Brent crude. We are proud with the likes of Saudi Arabia, Brazil, you name it. But where are all that now? It's a shame. We sell crude oil, we buy it back the crude oil. We have lost the essence. Look at the mass of land all over the place. Nobody wants to go to farm. Everybody wants to be a polysic farming, but it's not. But we buy from Niger, we import tomatoes, we import livestock, and we expect the naira to appreciate. It's impossible.
Thank you.
With due respect. Yeah.
Well, there's so much emphasis on agriculture now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the importance of agriculture can never be emphasized. But you know my biggest frustration here.
I agree with you. But we think from my conviction, from what I've seen so far, from what I've said.
Yes.
I was a little bit in government. That was between 2007 and 2015, and I know that was the Uganda era as governor of Delta State. They came out with a program, Youth Employment Through Agriculture YETA. Youth from the 25 local government areas of Delta State were mobilized to a camp and trained on fishery, cassava planting, name it, all agriculture. After 3 months of training, each person was given what you call starter pack. Your implement to work and money. For 8 years, that was done. After that, the program died. Where are the funds? Where are the fish ponds? All gone. People need serious mindset orientation about farm. If you come out today, if the government says yes, okay, let us do communal farming. Announce that we want 100,000 youth to come out. I'm sure we will not get up the truth. They will not come out because people, the mindset is completely different now. It's politics, and that is where the money is. I don't think youths are interested in farming. They think it's a poor man's job.
The youth with farm, if the farming is bringing the result. Maybe the place I want us to address, because the time we will not have. I know this topic will for me because we're going to look at the economic emancipation of the state now, and we want to follow Benjamin. Let's follow what Benjamin analysis. The government train people, and with the intention, this is where I'm confused, with the intention that when you finish, we will empower you to go and do your own farm. Now, these people cannot survive their farming. They cannot see what they're looking for. In that case, a government will take part. This means that the ordinary individual have not got the capacity to do the farming the way we want. If, for instance, let me give you, if Oduan has said, okay, I am the governor, I'm going to farm with you. This is your portion of your land. I will cultivate it. 30% is our own, 70% is yours. Do you know how many land we have in the state? All you need to do is show me your land. And I will cultivate the land. Meaning I will pay the land and I will cultivate it for you. I will share the profit with you. My job as a governor is I'm coming, I want to make money. The farm you are talking of now will still be there. Although I only throw the money at the people and say, go and survive. Complete waste. Now where's the money? Until governments know that it's their job to work, they come there, they don't know how to make their hands dirty. You know the topic of today. How do government make their hands dirty? You get to work.
Yes,
not to construct roads.
This reason among Nigerians that government business is everybody's business, and everybody's business is nobody's business. So that is why process.
So why do we have a body there? If it's everybody's business, then there should be no government. The government is the person that run our business. Our collective business is in the hand of the government, and that's why the governor is the one who is responsible for the business. If it fails, it's on the governor. This is why we don't call them, we don't hold them accountable enough. A governor will say, okay, I want to farm, and I will throw this money into this book. In fact, he should pay us the money back if the thing fails. Because you cannot come up and just jump with some stupid policy you know it's not going to work. Why would Oduan, in his wisdom, give all that training, knowing that the people will not survive? They still will not follow up. You want to follow the people and start arresting them? Go on.
Let me come in. Now,
yes.
Interestingly, we're looking at the situation from the point of view of government today. Now, your opening salvo, you made reference to the fact that there must be a workable template and a workable climate for investment to thrive. Yes. Now, we have restricted our discussion now to more like a agricultural sector. Now, yes. If the agricultural sector must thrive, there's a very important indicator that must make agriculture attractive, first and foremost. In fact, two. One is security. For people to go back to their farms and go back to farming, security must be assured and guaranteed. Because in the last decade, there has been a high level of farmland carnage instigated against farmers by supposed herders. The government needs to create a harmonious relationship between herders and farmers. In my secondary school then in the north, it was in Niger State, I attended the government college now. Every civil servant in Niger State then was compelled to own a farm. That's when you mentioned it, I just remember. Whether you were the permanent secretary, the SFG, everybody had a farm. So food was of essence. Yes, food was everywhere then in Niger State. Now, then there must be tax rebates, taxation, multiple taxation on the system makes farming difficult. Then transportation, the roads, that's the area of infrastructure, getting our food stores from the hinterland down to the center, to the marketplaces becomes a problem. And we need to get all these things right. But we are just talking about government. We have citizen problem as well. Serious citizen problem. Let me throw more light on citizen issue. Now the government comes up. The government, where I hold them coupled is the fact that because we have lack political ideology, all the government, both at the federal and state level, all they come up with is agenda. We know this one agenda. And there's not a continuum. I've noticed it. Whether of the same party, a policy ends with the last government. As a new government is coming, you start to change their own agenda. Those other policies that taxpayers' money has been invested in dies with the government and they are of the same party. That is where the black man's mentality is retrogressive. And now when you look at it, the citizen problem is this. Because the political elite have recognized poverty. They have made poverty lucrative. What do they now do? Youth empowerment. Farm youth empowerment. What empower they used to go to farm. Now,
Yes.
the training, look at what happens. I'm giving you the scenario. After the training, they give them starter packs, right? They give them starter packs. Maybe if you are trained in hairdressing, they give you the facilities for hairdressing, give you generator, then they'll give you like 20,000 or 50,000.
Exactly.
For you. Most of them immediately can be sell those things.
Have you the money to get married, man? Of course.
Yes.
I'm gonna get married.
We only have citizen problem. So what do we need? It's a mindset transformation. The mindset transformation must start from the head, not from the followers. Until we make democracy less lucrative, less attractive, that give you the template it is. It's a service-oriented career. It's a, so I don't want to call it a career. It's a service-oriented something. We need to make it look what it is. You are in the UK, you see how people that have finished their service to the people, they continue to live normal life. You don't see siren. You will see the driver, the councillor, calling himself honorable. Siren will be carrying a councillor, a local government chairman, which like a mayor.
Our MPs, they don't have private car. There's no government car for MPs in the UK.
You see you can see the fallacy. The moment you get into power, you use taxpayers' money to buy bulletproof vehicle.
Our prime minister have only 3 vehicles. One Okada, the bike, one SS that follows him, and the Jaguar is using. Only 3.
Then I'm coming. We have about 250,000 policemen in Nigeria. And he wants Nigeria to be one police when the politician has 6 to himself. Why are we making a mockery of insecurity? So, I mean, we are our own problem, citizen problem, the followers, we are lacking the willpower.
You blame the citizen. No, sir. Okay, you blame the citizen for that, but let's look at where the governor could have defeated this. I'm looking at this now. Let's look at this agriculture. Very simple. Supporting Tinubu said, my government, like Iradi said, every permanent secretary working under me through the Ministry of Agriculture, we're going to farm for the nation. That's Tinubu. He might just embark on one unique crop and he said that is our own. And every state government now do their own bit of farming. And the local government, because if you go to my local government now, my chairman is sleeping. That man is sleeping. The money that come in last month, you don't finish it.
Yes, now.
The youth are aware. When you call a youth and you give him 100,000, he's gonna use that money to get married. What is he gonna do with 100,000? But if the local government chairman decide to farm, in fact, do you know what is so funny? Every year now, youth corpers are coming out. They don't even have where to serve.
No work.
Not even where to serve.
Yes.
If the local government doesn't even know what to do with them, so they send well-trained engineers to go and teach in dead primary schools, private too, and that is the amount of waste. And then you see a local government not even having a job. He sit down there. Only I don't even know what they do as local government chairman. Now, if I am the governor, I will tell you, you take 2 billion. Let me see your farm. Every 6 months, they will give an account of what they produce. See, the country will see what they're doing. It's a simple. It's unfortunate that Vivian, we can't hear you. I don't know what is wrong with this your Lagos people. Yes, and see, sometimes it's a shame. It's a shame that what we're going through here, it can be easily resolved. You see, my argument today is that it's easy to challenge the private people to do things. That is when they are motivated to do so. I can't tell a Nigerian youth, I've been telling them, don't travel abroad, don't travel abroad. I can't even do it anymore because even the people in government don't have faith in the system. You that send your child to come and study abroad, when you are sick, you go abroad and you're telling a Nigerian child to stay there. If the
Your
Nigeria is, how many
children there.
people in government have their children studying in Nigeria? Let's start from there. You see that
That's
wicked that is telling people, this wicked that is destroying people have. Ask him where is his children? The governor of Delta State, where are his children? Let's name them one by one. Any village food that gets to power, the next thing the children are abroad. With the small
before they
money
even
that
get
to improve our education system.
before they even get to power, most of them, their children, they are not here. So how do you expect? Is it not what you are testing that you know how it feels? So they're
Look at
not even
Buhari. You
experiencing
know
it.
what the spend of Buhari said? The country, have you ever seen the prime minister? When I was in this country, Tony Blair had a heart issue. He was checked into the nearest hospital. When during the COVID, they did not take Boris Johnson to a special one. He was checked into the nearest hospital to him. If it will be Nigeria, they'll be flying into America. You see, and this thing we are talking about is a disaster. No, let me remind you. During when we were going through this hunger issue, the vice president said, they said some people in the north, they were selling food to Niger, and he called it sabotage, that the people are selling food. They're selling the food Nigeria should be eating to neighboring countries. I said, so these people could farm. So there's a market for the farm, and Nigerian government could not farm, and they are calling those who can farm and sell their own food, they call it sabotage. What is you that is using our money that could not even farm with it, and using the money to buy yachts? What is it? You are not sabotage. Your children are abroad. The poor man that farm in the land and sell his land, he said it's sabotage. Who is a true sabotage? So, and we see, here we are, we can blame the young people that even, in fact, if I'm a young child, if you give me that money now, first I'll use it for myself. Because I know that before you get that small one for us, we know what you have created. We know. They will tell you that the budget of this, they're giving so people some amount of money. Ask how much have gone in there. Look, my engineer and Benjamin, I'm still going to ask this. You see, why? What is the job of why is our government saying they cannot do business? That is the thing I don't understand. Who's going to do it for them? These are people that don't. Okay, let's say now, you know that our rich men, or the rich men in Nigeria, to be fair, the businessmen in Nigeria are doing their own. The ones that left government, they only build hotels and buy houses abroad. They are the true problem too. You cannot look at a former, somebody who has served. The only job they will do, go and look them on Shomole now. They will have estate in Abuja. They will have a private school. If you look at the life of Atiku will have a private school and have a estate. None of them have a farm. Not one. Some woman that have a farm. And they are all abroad.
But they want to eat.
Oh, of course, why not? And the funny thing is, there's more money in farming than this so stupid thing they invest in. There's more money if you farm in Nigeria. You're not looking for where to sell your food. The neighboring countries are hungry.
Yeah, that's true.
You will sell and sell and sell and sell. Okay, if Delta State cannot even farm, like I said even the other day, you know we die of ordinary water to drink. Water. You see the kind of level of water you have in Nigeria. No, what is wrong if a state government say, I'm going to produce pure water, good one that people will drink? Do you know the confidence people will have to go and drink water and buy that water and drink? Because we know the water is coming from the state, it's well done, you can be confident. We're going to buy it. Maybe the state will make money. No, the government cannot do business. Oh, it's not the business of government. No, what is the business of government? To construct road. You can't bring Julius Berger. Since I was born, Julius Berger, they construct road for Delta State. Today, I see the constructor. Our engineers are too stupid not to know how to construct road. Even if you no, I have no problem people constructing road. Supposing you use our engineer to construct the road. Are we that stupid? Why are we going to school? You know, the funniest thing is we overrate these white people out of inferiority complex. Tinubu coming here for treatment. The person treating him is a Nigerian. My accountant is a Nigerian. My lawyer here is a Nigerian. What are you talking about? So we have a problem. The inferiority complex, the low level, some of these boys were village fools. They became leaders. If not, what wisdom will like that's why I was almost laughing at Natasha. But she is beyond her, so she can cry out. If not, why can't we solve our problems? A person that is in government, have you seen that, sir? If you look at the people in Delta State government today, with this Oboriwori, all of them don't get house abroad. The first thing is to go and buy house abroad. The house you buy in the UK, you know, carry and go back. They want you to bring the money.
Oh yeah.
You will die and the house will remain in England. If you build a village house, that house will remain there. The house of my grandpa big, that make our village our village. But you carry your money, you come and buy a house in England. The house you will die. No house in England. No family has retained a house for more than 100 years. It will pass from one hand to the other. So you're buying it, you are stupid. It's like renting a place with a fortune of your people. Now, let me tell you, what is wrong in Nigerian universities? What can be wrong in our universities? With all the resources in Nigerian universities, you're sending your child to come and pay £15,000 plus accommodation, plus feeding, and you're losing your child actually because you're not going to, by the time you even die, the child will not be there to bury you. Now, I'm not arguing this. If Iborino say, if people like Iborina, why don't you send the daughter here to come and come and work here? Since you come here, here is better. Come bring your daughter. Your daughter will do better life at home. Now you see our governors now, they are not bringing their children into politics because that's all they know. You can't blame them.
Yes.
Did you see people like Odwan, did he have a farm? No, I bet Benjamin tell me. Benjamin get farm. Odwan get farm. Ibori get farm. Let's call them. Odwan get farm. They get hotel.
Instead, their children are in politics.
And there's more money in farming than what they're doing. There's more money in farming than the politics. And you will be living a comfortable life. You will contribute to society. You will be an employer. I'm not talking of those who have left to not even okay. So this is a problem. The people that have the money, these are the people I'm naming now. Oboriwori, the current governor, is in a position to feed Delta State if he want to. It doesn't cost Oboriwori to give each local government 2 billion. And I'm not saying share the money. You will farm with your people. Come up with your strategy. And I will do my own farm. Delta State will be selling food in 6 months. How can Nigeria be looking for food to put in our mouth? Food. It does not make sense. And I'm happy the women are going here because those people who are very religious. Because, and you know, the funniest thing is when we talk, the religious leaders are not helping matters too. If the big churches can only say, okay, let us farm or let us empower our members, then it will be so bad if they didn't have a farm because people are hungry. They're not looking for God. God has given us everything in our land. What are we still calling the same God? On Sunday night, these people will go to church to go and ask God for what He has given to you. God is even tired of us. How can God give you good land, good place, people to farm? You are calling God and not get food to provide food for me. God has provided food for you. Then the pastor will come with well dressed. I'm using our pastors these days. They are better than, they are more actors than even the Nigerian Hollywood. Have you seen them? The great actors looking good. Their fingers, Pastor Chris said, they call it hair. Man of God. We're confused, man. We cannot free the religious people from this whole trouble. From the day this our religion came, they took our culture. We are spiritually bankrupt because we lack what God really tell us to do. If you are God, won't you be angry? If you give some people a set of land, beautiful land, with powerful men, and even you're not feeding them with free oil money, and they cannot farm their land, and they are hungry. Every Sunday they come to you and say they want food. Would you be angry? If you have children, if you give them all those things, you know, would you be angry, sir? That's where we find ourselves. We're going to go to church on Sunday now, or go to mosque on Friday. Allah. God's going to bring the food. And I don't understand us, man. And my thing, and like I said, my biggest, only thing I would love to try today is somebody convincing me that the reason why government should not be doing business. You're telling other people to go and do the business. You know these people do not have the capability. One, the financial capability, the interest. If the interest is there, then former governors, all of them, we have them, they have enough money, they will be farming. And when a country cannot feed itself, what do you think? The first thing a man needs is food. The second thing will be shelter. You see these people, I'm happy. When they told me that the former CBN governor built a estate, I was happy because he's going to die soon. The house will belong to us. But build it in Nigeria. It's only more a problem when you go carry it out. This is my case. If you build that, go and build your village. Go building houses in your village. Steal the money, build the house in your village. You will soon die. The house remain there. People will inherit it. My problem is when you take that same money and you go and buy a house in abroad and you're not going to stay 1 month. Come to the biggest street in England, the most expensive street in London is Bishop Lane. There are 2 Nigerians that already has there. Those houses, if you sell it, it's enough to build a village. You build your own settlement. What are you doing here? You're not going to be here. You're looking for electricity. There's electricity 24 hours in Nigeria. We even worship you. Nigerians will worship you. Why bringing the small money we don't have to come and send your child abroad? The problem I have is I live in the UK, sir. They send their children to come and study here. They think they come here. And the same school is the same, the law of physics is not different. It's the same thing everywhere. Newton law of, in fact, I studied law in the UK. It's the same law you will start. The Nigerian law is even more difficult to pass than to pass here. When you study law in Nigeria, you go ready. Other people like us went through it here easily. How can you bastardize that education system there and you say the one here is better and you come and pay this fortune? And it's not as if you work the money, it's our money that you stole, that you send the child abroad. And you are not telling the young people, oh, they should go and do this. You blaming them for 100,000 you give to them. No, come on, man. And the elites in Nigeria, the government in Nigeria, they need to wake up and place the priority right. Maybe we should all start from agriculture. Sir, the whole of Africa need food to eat. So you don't have problem where to sell food. And if the governor of Delta State go into farming, the governor will have the power to know that the thing will need to be preserved. The government will provide the road so that he can carry his goods from wherever it is to where he's going to sell them. The private man cannot do that. That's why if I find the Benue, a poor farmer in Benue, the whole crops will die. Or even if you can harvest them, you may not be able to carry it from where you harvest them. He hasn't got the resources. And government is going to provide road. When you provide road, have you provided the car? Have you provided the logistics for the vehicle to move the thing from there? The things will not work. A white government will invest, will say, one, I will feed my nation. Where is Obasanjo? Obasanjo in those days came with Operation Feed the Nation. Tinubu come now. Over these few years, between Buhari and Tinubu, they are looking at Ministry of Petroleum, Minister of Petroleum, not Minister of Agriculture. Our current presidency is about the Ministry of Petroleum, not Ministry of Agriculture. If we can turn that around, if the next president of Nigeria say, I am going to be the Minister of Agriculture rather than Petroleum, then we have maybe that's a starting point. If a minister will see good thing in petroleum, he didn't see good thing in agriculture, that is the beginning of our problem. Engineer, you see, I like what you said yesterday. This is a cry for help. A cry for help. We need help as a nation. mentally, we've been told that. In fact, I know everybody go to church on Sunday, and I'm worried about. It's a good thing. I'm a Christian. I was born opposite the Catholic church. I went to the Catholic school, and I'm a Catholic, and I don't think I can change anymore. That's why my name is Chris. So the first African name I have is there. In fact, in this place now, there's a Benjamin. No, not fit tell us his name. Vivian, Evelyn, all of them. We have been. That is culturally we have been. We don't even have a culture anymore. I'm sorry, we don't. If you see the way we dress, thank God that you guys come out in Africa today. If not, yeah, we in Nigeria. If you look at now, very few people are dressing like us. So we have huge problem to deal with. But when it comes to this economy, that we cannot farm and feed ourselves, nobody can forgive us. God is angry with us. And whatever language they preach in the churches, any church that cannot preach how you feed your family, it's not a church. It's not telling you about God. Exactly. How can I go to church on Sunday and you cannot tell me that my number one problem is to go and farm and feed my children? And you tell me to come and drop money which I don't have. We're going to buy, you see, buy motor for the pastor, for the man of God. I know they don't want to hear this. Vivian is back. If you can hear Vivian, Vivian, now wow, this is your audio. We need to correct this because I will not be here tomorrow. Your audio is a disaster. This one, something is wrong with this. Anyway, we are more than 1 hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the show. I'm going to let Benjamin, let's hear engineer end this matter. Engineer, the Nigerian government, sincerely, what do you think will be the way forward? Government, I hear the word private-public partnership. How is our agriculture? Let's go. If we go too far, we will get lost. How can we save? How can we provide food for Nigerians? And how can we develop our agricultural sector, knowing well that when we were focusing on agri, like you rightly mentioned, the country were exporting and our money was higher than the US dollars. Now we have oil. What is the other way around?
Yeah, food security is very important for every government, both at the state, federal, and local level. But with the proliferation of politics and the monetization of politics, it has become difficult for people to even go to the farm, especially since politics is now world-based, it's now grassroots-based. It's easier now to go to your village, instead of start farming, they start politics from the grassroots, and that distorted the ideology that was all about agriculture before now. But I think the government failed in responsibility very well. How many ministries of agriculture even have a single tractor? How many ministries of agriculture have poultries, have government-owned poultries or government-owned fisheries? Is there other place for the government to have poultry, to have fishery? All that with this massive van, what are the agriculturists doing? So we need to understand the importance of agriculture towards reducing the burden on governance. Because when there's food security, there will be human security. Because hunger is a major reason for crime and criminality. But then, for there to be food security, the government needs to tackle crime and security too. The government needs to look at how well they can reduce taxation. Because it's not the one we're talking of agriculture, yeah? We're talking of agriculture and agro-allied products as well. Fish farming, fish preservation. I mean, if you harvest your fish farm, for example, you need to preserve the fish through kilns. Government need to help, and they need to. Most state governments, most importantly, need to look at how they can go into independent power production, power supply. The over-dependence on NEPA has thrown our power sector completely to the doldrum. Government can generate power, and once there's power, there will be sustainable development.
Because if, for example, how do you preserve your if you make do harvest, how do you preserve your chicken if you want to do frozen chicken, for example, by looking at other areas of agricultural development? How do you manage your silos if you must store your grains? So we need power, no matter what. Power, agriculture, taxation, security, they are intertwined, so that the government can understand. But our government lost the trajectory. How? Because they are fully, everybody is looking at only politics. That is the leeway. And Nigerian political climate is that we practice the most expensive politics in the whole of, for me, in the whole of Africa, even in the whole world, if I'm not mistaken. Where as you're coming, I mean, the furniture allowance, food, clothes allowance, for crying out loud. The people are reduced to just looking at the political players and gladiators, how they live a life of affluence. Somebody can be a poor man today, then he gets into politics, like you rightly said. What they have all around Aspire is hotels and lounges. Not one of them have thought of building a factory where they can employ youth. If not, I'm talking about the whole of Delta, Senior Asaba, the whole of Delta states, the 3 senatorial districts. All they think is aiding and abating promiscuity by building lounges. We have more hotels and more companies in this town, in Delta state. And the hotels, what else do they do in hotels? Lounges, nightclubs, that is what they all do. Food industries, 90% of our graduates are keke riders, bike riders in Asaba, and other major cities of the country, or the state rather. Everybody wants to have show its local government. Why don't you want a mechanized farm in your local government that can give employment to the people? Now you turn out these graduates, there are no work for them. Food security is the only guarantee for the emancipation. Once there's food security, the prices of foods will crash, the price of food stuff will crash. But when there's no food security, and when we keep sticking import, we import as annoying as toothpick, we import it to this country, because even our timbers are no longer there, nobody wants to do anything. The rubber plantation is dead on arrival. People used to go and tap rubber. How many people tap rubber these days? Nobody. Everybody wants to eat from the political money. People tap rubber, they dry the rubber, they export rubber from this Delta state.
Exactly.
I have people, I know many people that are doing it. But the politics is looking more like a cost than a blessing.
It is a cost.
Because the political players have really distorted it. And everybody retired from the military, the security, and when they retire, they don't want to come into politics. I'm not alienating the public servants. Everybody is culpable in the degradation of our economy. Everybody is culpable. The public servants, after looting for public service, is hotel they will still build. No one thinks of building hotels. They buy land, estates. We are producing more criminals because of a system of governance that we practice in this country, where there's a big void between the government and the governed. And that void, we create monsters. Forget the kind of the children are not going to come back. They will meet the monsters their fathers created. And the monsters will swallow them, if not only one.
Thank you, sir. So it's well said. We might think it's a joke. And I think, I'm going to let Benjamin and Mary end the show. But I really think that if you are a federal government of Nigeria is not farming, they are murderers. Any state governor that doesn't have a farm is a murderer. Any local government chairman that does not have a farm, I'm talking massive farm, you are a murderer. Any university, because the universities can do better, like we said, they're murderer. Any church, I know people don't want to hear this, any church that does not have a farm is a murderer. You know, because imagine if these little sectors own their own farm, there would be no need. In fact, Nigeria will be selling food to the rest of the world. Let the tide turn around that we are now exporting. Listen, the banana we eat in the United Kingdom is coming from Ghana. Every day now, The shipload of banana comes from Ghana to UK because a set of white guys went there to farm. The same land that Ghanaians are running away to come to UK. Somebody's gone there to cultivate the land to sell banana to us. They cost us for Nigeria. All those of now when I say now open eye, thief money, why can't you set up the farm and send those food abroad? There's market. In fact, the shirt we wear here, this shirt, most of them are made in Bangladesh. They are sold in England. They are not. There's no. There's a product. When you have a product, you have a market. In fact, all Nigerians do is now import. Let's turn the tide around. You know what is so good about us? The cost of labor in Nigeria is still very low. The cost of production is very low. So if you do that in Nigeria, you sell abroad, you'll be making massive money, relatively. And that is something that I don't understand why a government of Nigeria cannot think differently. Imagine if we can only take banana, that's something they eat, cashew nut in quantity, not the rubbish they are doing now. Single people bringing cashew nut, packaging it. Come to I organize the Nigerian week. You will see the kind of cashew nut we have now. Let the state government have cashew nut. And I can tell you how much the state will be making from ordinary cashew nut, ordinary groundnut. We cannot do this again. We cannot continue the way we are. Universities are telling you the same thing. And those of you who think abroad is better, the abroad is actually at home. And like I said, until we tap on what God has given to us, we are actually offending God going to church to disturb him every Sunday. Sorry. Mary, I know you guys don't hear this. If you go to church on Sunday to disturb God for what he has given to you, the man is angry.
Peter Obi said it now, and they want to finish it. When Peter Obi made his own statement, that he said that when we are supposed to be productive, we are using it to spend it on night vigil, and everybody were like, that's not the problem of Nigeria and all of that. But if you come out and speak the truth, to look like you're a bad person, I feel like we still need to invest more in education, skill acquisition, you understand, so that we can do better. Because it looks like all our onions is just on one spot, which is the oil money. You understand? So if we can start thinking outside the box, start thinking of what other thing can we do? Access to the digital market. What other thing can we do to actually make us grow as a Nigeria? We can't keep living in that archaic way, that same mentality of because Nigeria has oil. No, we should do other things. I can't understand, just like that the priest said, every home, schools, churches should start thinking of having farmlands, agriculture. In the absence of agriculture, there are still other things that the priest that we can do, that we can
Of
invest
course.
in.
I know. I said today, let's just look at agri. But tomorrow, Mary, we are talking of agri today. Tomorrow we may look at our education sector, even the tourism sector. Kenya is making so much money from tourism. It's in Africa. Kenya, the bulk of their money comes from tourism. So if we want, Nigeria have the best tourist site in the world. The history of the Benin Kingdom alone, if it's well harnessed, people will come and see what happened in those days. We have so much to say to the world, but we're busy doing what? Actually, I don't even know the language to use for us right now. But the government is going to be the pilot. If they are not ready to pilot, get out of the way. That's why I said, listen, it's easy to blame the people. But the reason people will always, I always use the word, the children of Israel would have remained in Egypt had Moses not come out. Moses piloted them out of that place. We need a pilot to take us because the potentials are there. It was not Moses that took them out, but Moses showed them the way. Somebody needs to show us the way out of this desert.
That's leadership.
And that person is the government. And we're talking the government from the federal to the local to the state and then to the federal, and also the pilot of churches. The academic institution, you guys are all pilots. Pilot us out of poverty so that God will continue to praise us. God will bless us so we don't spend the whole day disturbing God in church. Because what is happening now is on Friday now, many people will be in the mosque. I dare not come to Nigeria if you see this rubbish. They'll kill me. You go, instead of going to your farm, you're going to go and pray in the mosque. At the end, no food though. On Sunday, everybody, if you see, I dare not call people on Sunday at 9 a.m. They are in church. It's good though. I don't have anything against it.
And if we
But
don't
people
go
are
to
hungry,
church,
Mr. Pastor.
and if we don't go to church,
I
don't
do.
attend church. So
And let me keep my own. Anyway, let's see whether we can wrap it up today. But tomorrow, I think we should look at today. I said let's just look at agriculture, emancipating the economic emancipation of the Nigerian state, and maybe we look at another sector tomorrow, and another sector, and another sector. That way, we can look at the trouble of the Nigerian state. Funny enough that we didn't take a look at the newspaper today. Too bad. And we shouldn't be doing the show this way. I'm going to look for somebody else to run the show, because sometimes we get involved and we go somewhere. From Natasha to the Senate, from the Senate Wahala to our people now banning pornography as our problem, and and we can now destroy people's home. We have too much to talk about. That's why we lost the papers. I hope we will have time to take a look at them next time. And Vivian, please look at your audio so that we can hear you. Sometimes it's not good to have a beautiful woman and you can't hear from her. They're not beautiful for that. Say God create una make una bless the world. So let's hear from you. All right. So thank you, engineer. Engineer, as we continue to cry for help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. More than imagine. We're grateful. And we will continue to build on that. I will continue to cry for help. Let us believe that our cry will be heard today. That's where we end it today. Until tomorrow when we'll be here again. Don't go away from us. Stay with us. Every morning we'll be here giving you the best. What is happening in the country. God bless you.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria. Srtv. Innovative content.